Hey, what's up guys? In this video, we'll be talking about infrared photography, specifically how you can create your own with a Lightroom preset, and I'll even give you a Lightroom preset for infrared photography right after this. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome into this video. On this channel, we talk about landscape photography, taking you out into the field, showing you how to shoot, and also doing some gear reviews. So if you're new to this channel, you've never been here before, consider subscribing below. Now, this video is going to be geared towards infrared photography. I'm going to be giving you an infrared Lightroom preset that you can actually use. Actually, it's linked below in the video description. If you want to go ahead and download that for free, that link is down below. Also, if you're interested in more presets, I've linked my presets pack below and also included a card right here for you and go to check out how to use Lightroom presets to benefit your own photography. Now, getting to infrared photography, if you've never experienced or known what infrared photography is before, it's a really creative way for you to shoot landscapes. Landscape photographers are always looking for new ways to incorporate new techniques into their shooting so that they can expand their portfolio and try out different things. Infrared photography is really cool. It's a way that people use film or infrared sensors to go out and shoot in the field to create a completely otherworldly way to look at landscapes. Now, the way that infrared photography works is it takes different colors and wavelengths and transforms those so that you get this look that's like a dreamlike state. It's known as the wood effect. And what it does is it takes foliage and grasses and transform those to look like snow. So a lot of times your best infrared shots are going to be those that have a really deep, rich blue sky and that are also going to have a lot of green or yellow foliage in the trees and green grass below in the foreground. These shots are always the best results when you're looking at infrared photography and how to create your own. But a lot of times people don't have the money to go out and buy infrared film, not like anyone is shooting very much film anymore anyways, and you also don't have very much money to go and purchase like an infrared sensor or an infrared specific camera to take out in the field with you. So in this video, I really want to show you how you can create your own infrared photograph look in Lightroom, because you can actually do it for free if you already have Lightroom. Again, like I said, a free infrared preset is linked below if you want to check that out and download that. Just remember, in the checkout box before you download that preset, type 0 in the checkout box of cost. That way you can download that preset for free. So go ahead and do that. It's my gift to you for thanking you for watching this video and being a part of this channel. So now that we've learned what infrared photography is and kind of what the feeling of that is and how you can shoot the best infrared photos using blues and yellows and greens, what I want to do is take you into Lightroom and show you an example of how you can actually create the own look yourself so that you can create your own infrared photographs too. So let's go ahead and get into Lightroom so that we can take a look at what that actually looks like. All right guys, now that we're in Lightroom, let's really look at some of the examples of the best types of photograph that we can use to create this infrared technique. Now, if you look on my screen, I'm going to show you exactly what kind of photographs that we need. I have a few examples here. So the first one was shot in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Second one shot in the exact same park. Third one, a lighthouse, Bass Harbor Lighthouse in Maine. Fourth one, a moon setting over a mountain in Grand Teton National Park. And the fifth option is some fall foliage with a nice sun star in Rocky Mountain National Park. So all these are good options. And why? Because you have a lot of that blue sky and some foliage in the foreground that you can use to transform. But the best thing you can do is really look for those greens and yellows in the foreground that you can use. So automatically, I'm going to eliminate the lighthouse and I'm going to eliminate the leaf photograph that we have here. And I'm going to really focus in on the moon set, and I'm going to focus in on the fall foliage in Colorado that we can use to masterfully create this infrared technique. So I'm going to use these two photos, but I'm going to start with the fall foliage in Colorado because it has a lot of promise. It has that blue sky, it has the yellows in the trees, and it also has some green tones in the trees too that we can use. So I'm just going to double click on that and go into the develop module where we can start actually editing this. And it's really simple. Like, all you have to do, first step, is switch it over to black and white. Now, when you switch it to black and white, you may need to adjust some things first, because what Lightroom will do is, based on the color tones within the photograph, is it'll alter those automatically. So you need to go ahead and reset every single color tone by double clicking on the name of the color. So like red, orange, yellow, green, aqua, blue, and then it'll reset that to 0. And then you need to focus on the yellow, greens, and blues in the black and white photograph. Yellows and greens, you're going to increase to 100%. And what that's going to do is going to transform those gray tones of those two colors into like this snowy white that creates part of the infrared look. Next thing you're going to do is decrease the blue all the way down, and that creates like that deep black sky that a lot of infrared photographs have. And that deep black sky is something that is so crucial to an infrared photograph. And after you use these and kind of alter these color gray tones within the photograph, you may need to go back into your basic editing tab in the Lightroom Develop module and alter like your contrast or your clarity, or work with your shadows and highlights to make those look like really, really infrared. So this part is after you include the preset in there. And again, that preset is linked below for you guys to get for free. You can increase the contrast, separate those highlights and shadows out. You can increase the clarity and create like a lot more detail within the photograph and separate like kind of the textures out from what they would be. So those are some really good ways. Let's look at the other photograph that we had though of the moon set in Grand Teton National Park. It's a really good opportunity as well for this, and it's kind of a risk though, because a lot of the greens, like a lot of the evergreens that are in the foreground of this photograph, aren't that like huge saturated green color, but we do have some deep blue skies, so I'm going to try it out anyways. I'm going to go to the develop module like we just did. Again, switch everything to black and white, and you'll see that the blue sky really isn't that deep here, but let's go ahead and see what it looks like after we change everything out. So again, I'm going to double click on all of these color tones to get them back to 0. I'm going to increase yellows all the way up. That took some of the detail in the mountain up. I'm going to increase the greens, which looks pretty good. It didn't take those evergreens to the next level, but let's see what the blue does to the sky. I'm going to decrease that all the way down. Now that looks pretty cool if I do say so myself, but what we've done here is kind of reduced how bright the moon actually is. It's not like it was that bright to begin with if I switch that back to 0 on the blue, but if I decrease that down, what I can do is take the adjustment brush and adjust that down to the right size, like right around the moon, and I can kind of just paint that in, and we'll see what this does. Double click on the exposure to bring it back up, and I'm just going to increase the exposure of the moon to really see what it looks like. It doesn't really bring it up very much, to be honest. With it really looking realistic, I can maybe adjust the highlights or the shadows to kind of see what that does. But the black slider is what really brings that moon back into the photograph. So I'm gonna keep that there. I got a little bit outside of the adjustment brush and what I wanted to do. So I'm gonna hold down the Alt key on the same brush. And what I'm gonna do is just paint that outer edge back out, because this wasn't a full moon. We still had some shadowing on the moon. So that looks pretty good right there. I'm happy with this as an infrared option. I think it looks really good for an infrared photograph. So I'm gonna keep that one there. So now we have two photographs that we use this infrared technique with, and that we can kind of add some more interesting variations to our photography portfolios, adding some more interesting adjustments to our photographs, and even adding an extra trick that we can use if we don't necessarily like a photograph in color. We can use this infrared technique if we also don't like it in black and white. All right guys, thanks so much for watching this tutorial. I hope it helps you next time you get out in the field and you want to try something different with infrared photography. If you've never seen this channel before, consider subscribing below. If you liked what you saw, hit a thumbs up, comment below, or any and all of the above.